Want to listen to the podcast live? Head over to twitch.tv/CrossAtlanticGaming and join us. You'll see some excellent gameplay by Chocolate Bear, even if he does say so himself. You'll see the podcast at weekends, and you may even see some beautiful highlights of some fantastic plays. Once again, twitch.tv/CrossAtlanticGaming. See you there.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 94 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host Risky the Kid, and joining me this week, as always, are my co-hosts Chocolate Bear.
Hello.
And Moose.
Hey players.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Not
Almost.
yet. We're getting close though.
It's the closest holiday that I can think of. So
Nah, bruh. We got a Hootie birthday this week.
happy birthday, Hootie, is what I really meant. Sorry.
Yep.
I should have known.
Gonna
Should
have
have
a
checked
big...
the calendar, man.
I know. It's written
I
on
forgot
there.
Our shared Google calendar with all of the children's birthdays.
Yep.
Exactly.
I can't
Family
believe I didn't check it.
outings.
I'm sorry.
We don't do that in my family. We just have a new outhouse calendar that we transfer all the birthdays to every year.
An outhouse calendar?
Yeah, dude, it's the best calendar ever. It's like just outhouses in like beautiful scenery.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you had an outhouse and there was a calendar in it. And I was like, this is
No.
getting weird.
Dude, I'm not that rustic.
Well, you
I
know,
know you guys think I live in like cowboy town out here, but it's not
it
like
also
that.
seems like it could totally be like a hipster, like weird, trendy thing that doesn't make a lot of sense, you know?
It helps my garden, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Use
so
Yes.
gross.
disgusting. Oh, well, we better get off.
Yeah,
this.
move on, please.
I've
Before
turned off everyone.
well, those of you that are still here, this week's episode is our Patreon episode, so we can announce who won the $25 gift card this month. So,
Drum roll, please.
and the winner for the month of March is Timothy Fielding.
Woo! Attaboy Tim.
Heyo. Congrats, Tim. I'm going to let Moose handle this one because I know
Yep.
you guys are buds.
Yes, sir. And I think he'll just put it towards his Switch.
Switch fund?
Yep, exactly. So
Smart.
It's got to be getting up there. I think this is the second time he's won. So, you know,
We'll
if
pay
you're
it
thinking
off
about joining Patreon, there's like 5 people in there. So your odds are good.
Shots fired. Right into our feet. Yeah, so congrats, Tim. For April, you guys now have a month. If you'd like to check out Patreon, we're at patreon.com/CAG podcast. We might be changing things up a little bit over there. Just some, well, not on Patreon specifically, but just some additional ways to get yourself into the drawing. Did we want to talk about that now, or do you want to hold that for next week?
No,
Tell him,
definitely.
Bear.
Go for it. So we are going to help you double your odds of winning.
Triple.
So, triple. It will be triple,
Potentially.
actually. Potentially. So, if you sub to us on our Twitch channel at Cross Atlantic Gaming, you will get an additional Patreon drawing. So, I've messed this up already with
Yep.
An
words.
You're
additional
gonna get-
entry into
right.
the Patreon drawing.
Yeah.
So you're going to get an entry in the drawing, whether you sub on Patreon or you sub on Twitch. But if you happen to sub on both, then you're going to get a bonus entry.
Buy
Yes.
2, get 1 free.
You betcha.
Those were the words I was looking for. So, potentially you can double up, triple up as big as you can. So we have certain levels on our Patreon tier that give you some extra entries.
Right.
If you sub on Twitch as well, you would get an additional entry plus an additional free one.
Yep.
Wow.
And I know
Maths.
some of you guys already qualify out there because we have patrons, and then they hook us up with their Twitch Prime sub too. So that's another way to get an entry in our drawing without paying us any money.
So yeah, the Patreon episode is usually the second Tuesday of the month. So as long as the day that we're recording, if we go in, see that you're subbed, that'll count. So just make sure you're subbed to Twitch before whenever that episode is going to be. Second week in April.
I would say
So-
you have to be sub by that Sunday because we usually record Sunday or Monday.
Or that, yeah, right. So before the weekend, we'll just say that.
There you go.
So yeah, just an additional way that maybe people who have Amazon Prime and aren't using their subscription, that's just a free way to get into the drawing, and why not? So yeah,
Definitely.
that's us done talking about the monies and ways you can support us. We appreciate every single one of you, and we'll continue to do so for the rest of forever, I guess.
You betcha.
Yeah.
All right, another week in games. What have we all been playing? Chocolate, I'm going to start with you because you are playing something that I've never heard of, and that game is Hellfront Honeymoon.
Very strange title of a game.
I am interested.
May put you off, but we'll see. So, Hellfront is a top-down strategy game. Essentially, I would say it looks like a checkers board, and you're going from point A all the way to point B to destroy all the enemies. You have the control scheme is so simple, it's unbelievable. You have two options. You can build a turret or build a barracks. With the barracks, they automatically spawn your soldiers, and then they all group up nice and easy, and then off you go to destroy whatever you need to destroy. The aliens, I'm at the moment, I think I'm only 3-4 levels in, so they're aliens at the moment. I presume they change later on in the game, and it is, yeah, it's so simple. It is probably a dumbed down version of Halo Wars, but super dumbed down.
So you kind of have like you have a defensive option with the turrets, or you have the barracks that are creating like an offensive army kind of thing.
Yeah, totally. Like with Halo Wars as well, you've got certain points where you can build on. So I think that the map splits up ever so slightly. Obviously, you have your enemies on one side, you on the other. And every time you knock down one of their, I use the word base very, very loosely, but one of their bases, you then get the ability to, again, either pump out a barracks or drop a turret. It is so simple, so easily I don't want to say mind numbing, but you know when you just need a massive palate cleanse of just something super simple.
Yeah, and something that's kind of different than what you're typically playing, I guess.
Yeah. So that, as I said, there's not much in the control system. All you're doing, you're twin sticking, so you're moving your soldiers, I think, with the right, and then with the left, and then with the right, you're taking down shots wherever you need to. It really is such a super simple game, and looks really good considering it's a freebie that I got that I'm reviewing. So there might be something up on YouTube at some point. with some
Nice.
clips.
Do you have any idea if there's multiplayer or anything like that, or is this
So-
strictly just like a campaign?
No, so you have the campaign, but you also have 1 to 4 players. So there is PvP.
So like free for all, like 1v1v1v1.
Yeah,
1v1v1.
yeah, superb. So it's got a lovely kind of mechanic to that. I believe it's also co-op as well.
You can play couch co-op.
I don't know if it's couch co-op. I haven't had the ability to.
It looks
kind
like
of
it.
test
You
those
can
off.
from the trailer. That's what they're
Okay.
emphasizing.
But it's so simple, but I think playing on that 4-player game would be such a laugh, so funny, so kind of hectic, because all of a sudden it does get pretty hectic. Your soldiers are spawning fairly quickly as well. It's not a case of waiting potentially minutes on end. The map isn't that big. It's a very, I want to say maybe 12 by 12, if that.
I would say you can see the whole thing on screen. It looks like
Yeah.
You don't have to like scroll around like Command and Conquer style, like
No,
looking
it's
for Halo Wars, that kind of thing.
Precisely. It's very tight. There are kind of
Kind of like
At time.
Bomberman maps, right?
yes, Bomberman is perfect. You also have kind of columns that break up your traversal through the map. However, you can destroy certain points of those to make another entry point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. I wonder, like, with this type of game, like, the simplicity is there at a base level, but if you're playing somebody, like, if you and I were playing and you have 30 hours into this and I have a couple hours, if just that, like, skill gap, like, if you can get really good at different things, I guess, like, easy to learn, tough to master, that kind of thing, or if it's just simplistic all around.
Sure, kind of like chess, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think looking at it for the amount of time I've put into it, which is not, I haven't put hours and hours into it yet, it seems super simple. I've been breezing through the levels fairly easy, and I'm not playing it on baby mode at all.
Yeah, so that's where I guess I'm just wondering if, so you're beating up on the AI, so I wonder if you put another human brain on the other side of the table, if like how the dynamics change, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that would be a superb part of the game. You do have, I suppose, the ability to do the online co-op, so I can jump in and just see how that changes up.
Right, because you assume, you playing against the AI right now, you figure out what they're doing and you counter that. Having them counter whatever you're doing back could, be a whole different dynamic in the game.
For me, I was doing my my very, very best just to flood. That's all I did. I kind of flood the AI.
Shock and awe, huh, Bear?
Well, that's all I was, trying to steamroller them. And whether the game's broken, I don't know. I just kept seeming to steamroll them. It didn't seem like there was that much resistance. And like I said, this wasn't baby mode.
Maybe you just have found your game, dude.
Well, possibly. Listen, I found many games that are mine. we won't talk about those yet.
Okay.
Do you know if there's a pro league, and can you sign up for tryouts?
Yeah, I'm already in the esports team, guys. What are you talking about?
Well,
after they hear this, that's
Did
it.
you also buy that team?
Created the game as well.
He's like player coach.
Yeah, player coach, picking myself all the time. Everyone else is a sub. You're on the bench. But yeah, super simple game, very palate cleansing. Like I said, there's not much brain power to it. It did me for a kind of wiping the slate clean after playing my next game, but we won't talk about that just yet.
Yeah, it sounds neat. I think it actually looks, I just watched the trailer as well. Definitely looks kind of cool. And like you said, kind of simple, but maybe something fun and different, that a good palate cleanser, as you stated.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, next up we can, Moose, I'll check on you. I know you're diving into maybe a little bit further into the Division 2. What's going on there? Are you warlording? Are we checking out old content?
I was checking out old content. I finished the Pentagon mission, which is kind of difficult to try. I had to matchmake to finish it. It seems like all the end bosses you need to have friends, or it's really hard. So, but that was a lot of fun. I made a new friend. I can't remember what his name is. It's like something Rockstar, but it had X's and numbers and stuff in it. So
you had one of those elite gamer.
Yeah,
gamer
bro, elite speak. And so I beat that, and then I read an article on Forbes. It was either last night or early this morning about 10 things I wish I knew about Warlords before I started it. And the number one thing was just like get through the Warlords campaign as fast as you can. If not, you're just wasting XP with everything you open.
Okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense. You want to be
Right.
closest to like max level before you start
right.
opening things up.
So I jumped on the chopper and I headed to New York, bruh.
I like it. How's New York?
Oh, it's a mess.
Is fair enough.
Yeah, it's nobody cleaned anything up from since the last time we were there.
Does it just drop you straight into Coney Island then?
It's Lower Manhattan, I believe.
Oh, okay. So are you traversing any of your like old stomping ground then, like places that you've actually been, like reused asset style?
Not
or is
yet.
This all completely new.
Yeah, as far as as far as I know, it's all new. But I'm not. I can't remember Division 1 super well. I just remember it being Christmas time and snowing and all the buildings kind of looking similar to me.
And just underground parking garages with
Right.
loot.
Yeah, exactly. So far, I just scratched the surface. I just came over and unlocked, I forget what they call it, the Haven. And that's kind of like your base for operations and everything over there. And then you basically it's a 5 points thing, and there's 4 bad guys or 5 bad guys and then a main bad guy. And each area that you walk into, you go further and further in, and the story keeps going further and further. So I picked the furthest west guy and started hunting after him. And I think I've had 2 or 3 encounters so far, and I just keep getting deeper and deeper into those neighborhoods. So it's good. It's great. It's great storytelling. It's great level design for sure. Might be the best in any games. So, like I told you last night, it's a good time to jump in, but obviously I was wrong with that, huh?
Did the servers go down?
No, Risky's just got other games on his mind right now.
It's because the day this podcast comes out,
Right.
Call of Duty finally has their Battle Royale, which we'll talk about later, question mark?
Yes.
Yeah, we will.
Most definitely.
And then the new season of Destiny also starts, so it's kind of just both these are getting plopped in my lap right now, and like the beginning of this stuff is always when it consumes me the most, so just
Right.
even thinking about trying to actually get back into Division 2 would just be incredibly hard.
And
now for
neither
me.
one of those will cost you any money at this point, so,
Right, so...
you don't want to fork over the $30. But, I also had $20 in Microsoft bucks or whatever, thanks to old Chocolate Bear over there, reminded me to cash in my weekly Game Pass rewards. So
Nice.
they had a sale, and I think I spent 18,000 points and got $20 worth of credit. So I spent $9.99 on the new DLC.
Dang, that's not bad at all then. I definitely
Right.
have some points
But
saved up there.
you're crazy if you're not touching that Game Pass stuff. It is so easy.
Literally, like you just load a game that's in Game Pass and you get 500 points.
Yeah, well, they've changed it. So this month they dropped all the points because it used to be, was it 10 or 15 points? And now you only get 5 points for opening the app a day and playing a Game Pass game
I
a
gotcha.
day.
So just for opening the Game Pass app, you were getting points?
Right,
Yeah,
no. And then
so
there's also just
simple.
like daily and weekly and monthly challenges.
Oh, man. That's a lot
And
of
like,
stuff.
yeah, the bigger stuff you get are worth more points.
And that doesn't even take into account like the Bing searches and surveys
Yeah,
and quizzes and
exactly.
stuff. All of that's
I
on
think-
top of it.
Yeah, I
Good
think
lord.
after I was done to like 3,500 points, and I think I'm up to 6,000 again already. And that was like a couple weeks ago.
So they're just handing out money at this point. Get on
Pretty
it,
much.
people.
If you're not doing it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, free money. It is ridiculous. I think you've got a year to use your points as well.
No,
So
mine
it-
expired in 30 days.
Which one? The
The two $10 ones I just got.
I was meaning though the points that you accumulate
Oh.
through the. I
Yeah,
think you've
so-
got a year
Right.
to kind of stack up your points. And
But
I
then
believe
if you cash them in, then those gift cards or those those vouchers are only good for 30 days.
okay.
So if you know a big game's coming out or something,
Right.
cash
Just
them out
wait.
and throw it towards a pre-order or something.
Exactly.
Or just wait with your actual points.
Well, you're better off waiting because I think they do a sale
Yep,
on
That's
the
what I did.
gift cards.
it was
I
20%
think-
off.
Yeah, I think it's 4 times a year. I want to say so. They'll do
Like
the
once
actual.
a quarter, they just chop
If-
down the price a little bit.
It feels like that. It's either the actual Xbox credit or they'll do Microsoft credit, which you can use in both in the game store anyway. So it's like I said, it's you're crazy if you're not doing it. You save
Especially if
yourself
you're
so
on
much.
Android and it can just do all of your searches and surveys for you with an app.
Yeah,
I'm
but Shine said
so
that
jealous.
they scan those things every once in a while, and if they catch you, they'll shut your account down.
Well, good thing I don't use it then, huh? And I don't know
Right?
if you should
Exactly.
either,
I
then.
stopped too when he warned me. Hmm.
Well, he just saved me a bunch of hassle then, since I stopped it a long time ago.
Exactly. We don't do those unsavory
mark.
things.
Doesn't sound like something I would do.
Check your account quick.
Just make sure it's still there. Okay, cool. So yeah, Division 2 definitely worth checking out then if
Yes.
if you kind of can't figure out what to play, or if you haven't been there in a long time. I guess it sounds like there's plenty to be doing even
Yeah.
without
Even in the
Warlords,
old
so.
game. Yeah, exactly. There's
That's what I think you messaged me one night, and you're like, I haven't even tapped into Warlords of finding all this stuff that I've never saw before, just in
Yeah.
the main game.
That's
from
like-
the last season or whatever.
exactly. Last night I did this. What do they call them?
Incursion.
It
No.
was some kind of confidential missions
Yeah,
or something
it's
weird.
a confidential assignment, or God, I can't remember the exact word for it now. Sorry. But basically you go and you search these areas, and then you look for a secret entrance, and then you get inside, and obviously there's a mission you've got to do and beat a boss, but also there's 4 or 5 secrets that you have to find, and then open up the audio files. And then there's one puzzle within the level 2 that you have to do a certain amount of things in order to unlock a room, in order to get like a backpack charm. And until you do that, the mission's not complete. And
Sounds like the old caches that you used to have, the weapon cache. You had to do something like that.
Same kind of thing. Yeah, you shoot power boxes to unlock doors. And so I did one last night that was in a nightclub. And the end puzzle is there's 6 keyboards, and you had to go and turn on 4 generators throughout the building. And they all had symbols spray painted on the walls. And then whatever light the generator turned on, that was what order you had to put that symbol in. And it took me forever. And finally I Googled it, and I was like, oh man, I didn't even remember. Like, the generators are, you just think it's like a non-part of the story. And then so I had to run back and look through all the areas for the generators and look for the symbols. So it took me, I jumped on it like 10 o'clock last night after I was done watching the hockey game, and I was like, I'll just knock one of these out real quick. I think I went to bed at like 1:30.
So a little more than you bargained for.
Yeah, because if you exit it, then you can't jump back in for like a day and 6 hours or something. It locks them out.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So it's really cool though. So I was geeking out with all that stuff, and then I was talking to these guys that I met, because they were talking on. I don't usually talk to randoms, and they were both talking. I could hear them talk. I was like, I guess I should grab my headset. They just think I'm being a jerk at this point. So I started talking to them, and they told me, they're like, oh, I was like, oh, this one's only $4.15, and they're like, well, that's as high as you're gonna get until you go to New York. So I basically had been wasting my time for the last couple days just getting gear that I'm gonna shred.
Right. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I'm in New York now.
All right. Yeah, good place
Wish I
to
would have
be.
read that article about 3 or 4 days ago.
Right? Why don't they publish those? Actually, that probably was published a while
I think it was
ago.
actually published today.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because it came out Friday, or was it early last week?
Their job is to play games and report on them, though.
Right. Yeah, he went through the weekend, and this is a retrospective.
Fair enough. If only you read
I
it
just need to
sooner,
be
or played
patient
later.
and not have FOMO. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen. So I stumble through
Nope.
things, and then I find the easy way when I'm done.
Exactly. Oy. Cool. All right. I'll go next, and I'll touch on something that I didn't write in the notes, but Moose and I finally beat our first ever heist in
Yes,
GTA.
we did. We did it. Woo.
Congrats!
I think I
So-
got like $250,000 or something.
I think so. It seems like we've been going for so long with it. But-
Yeah.
So when you hear like $250,000 or $250,000, it's kind of like, oh, I probably could have made that money faster in other ways. But I think
We made about that with all the different setup things too, though, I think. 'Cause
yeah,
we made about
exactly.
25,000 with each one.
and it's nice, like the heists are just, I think they're a lot of fun, just like how you have to coordinate. Different people have to have different jobs. You have to depend on other people. And speaking
Yeah.
of that, I'll get to a
Somebody
fun story
can,
here.
Yeah, totally Leroy Jenkins everything, can't they?
Yeah, so I'll just do a quick story about this and we can move on. But so for this heist, it was me, Moose, it was Waterloo, and Shopa. And Waterloo is kind of like, I kind of just want to like hang out and do something like the easy part or whatever. So we decided he could fly the helicopter because with the helicopter, Moose, you rode as the gunner. You guys just kind of like
Right.
sat up in the
That
sky,
was
just
so much
protecting
fun.
us.
Especially when I figured out how to use the front guns.
Oh yeah, the cannon on the underbelly
Yes.
of the helicopter.
That thing would one-shot just about anything on that game.
So yeah, you guys are up in the sky doing that, and then Shopa and I are down inside of like the facility, clearing it out and grabbing the hard drive that was
Yeah.
like the whole point of the heist.
Doing the man's work.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have to swim out like through some tunnels, and then we pop up on a beach that's a little bit far away. And all you guys had to do is come over, pick us up, and that was literally the end of the mission. Like that was gonna end it. So we get all the way out. We do our swimming. We have our rebreathers on so we can spend a lot of time underwater. We pop up and we're like, all right, let's shoot some flares up so they know where we are. We fired the flares off. And then literally the last thing that needs to happen is you pick us up. We fly to our final destination, land. We good. So doesn't Waterloo come up a little heavy on the throttle and try to land?
No, a little heavy on the not throttle.
That's true. He did drop into the ocean.
He just put that prop in reverse, basically.
Yeah, so I think
Dropped
he
out of
panicked.
the sky like a rock.
The beach we had to land on was kind of small and it was kind of at an angle. But like if you've played a video game before, this seems like something that shouldn't be too difficult. So he kind of got the plane going the wrong way a little, or the helicopter going the wrong way a little bit, and then just completely backed the tail into the ocean and
Like
sunk the
slow
helicopter.
motion, just like sad slid like a sinking ship into the water. It was
and-
just like, dude, come on, all you got to do is hit the gas and it'll lift itself out of there.
And what happens with these heists, because we play them on hard mode, so you get 1.5 times XP and money.
No revives.
You essentially have one life, and once that one life is used, you fail. So we had to start over the whole
Right.
final part of the heist because our pilot, who wanted to do something easy, decided to crash the helicopter into the ocean. So shout out to you, Waterloo, always making things exciting, to say the least.
That's right. If you ever need a helicopter pilot, don't call Lou. And then we tried to switch. I was like, all right, well, I'll fly the helicopter. And it wouldn't let me anywhere near that stick. It's like, no, sir, you are a gunner and nothing but a gunner. Now go
Yeah,
shoot
'cause
the gun.
You pick your jobs before, like you setup. So once you're in there, you either have to like go all the way out and then come back in, or just keep trying to do it.
Right.
And it's always that, like, I used to get this feeling in old school like Destiny raids where if somebody's not pulling their weight or messes something up, like you start to get angry, like angrier than you should at a video game. And like it was kind of that thing where he crashed it and then there was just like silence because we all knew we had to run it again, but nobody
Yeah.
wants to say anything like you're the worst or just things much harsher than that when you're in party. So
You
it's
had
just like,
one job.
yeah, it's silent for like 5 or 6 seconds, and he's like, "That's my bad." Yeah, you
Yep.
think?
Sure is.
But either way, we nailed it on the next try. I think
Yeah.
Chopa and I swam to a bigger, flatter, open area and just
No,
had 'em-
dude, we went straight to that beach and practiced landing until you guys got there. As soon as
Oh,
we
that's-
knocked everything
okay.
out of the sky, we're like, all right, go land.
So
Slow.
you guys had plenty of time to practice.
Yeah.
So that was an experience.
So
to say the
believe it,
least.
GTA Online still fun.
Yeah, and I think they just put in the last piece of heist or casino, that DLC. The last item you can buy just got put in. It's like a 3-wheel ATV thing. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming the next big DLC thing is going to happen.
Or maybe
'cause
the next game.
Oh God, wouldn't that be nice? I have no idea. With
Who
the amount of
knows?
money that they're making, they should be dropping DLC literally up until the last day before GTA 6 launches.
Right.
So, the amount of money that, like, I have the urge to buy
Don't
like shark
do
cards
it.
sometimes. I won't do it. I won't.
You can just buy the original version through Game Pass. It's like a ultimate cheat code until GTA leaves Game Pass.
Why? Oh, get 20% off your shark cards that come with
Yeah,
it.
you get 20% off right off the top.
That's true. I don't. That just takes away from the whole like grindy part of it. Like that's the
Right.
fun part. So
Yeah, we got $250,000 and I invested it into my staff at my Coke business, and poof, it was gone.
GTA Online is such a wonderful place. It's so much fun. Yeah, I can't wait for 6. Definitely go hard on that when it first comes out.
Agree.
But yeah, that's my GTA Online, our GTA Online update that we have finally, after 7 years of this game being out, beat a heist in
Yeah,
online
it's like
mode.
maybe our
so-
third one that we have going.
Yep. Now he's got to go finish the other 2 maybe someday.
How many are there?
I think there's 5 now with the Diamond Heist.
Okay.
Maybe 4 or 5. So yeah, plenty of other ones. Because now that we finished this one, I get calls from Lester that's like, "Hey, I heard this new thing that's popping up. It's probably
Gotcha.
just as bad of an idea as the last one, but here's the info." But I haven't clicked into it because
I need
we
to
haven't
spend
started a new
some
one.
I need to spend some time on there just doing things other than playing heists and online games with you guys because I have 0 cars. I finally got a motorcycle club. My guy is so hideous. We just call him Uncle Jerry at this point.
You
Because,
should
like,
post.
on the-
You should take a screen cap.
He's
of
so
him,
ugly.
Post
Because
it on Twitter.
I was getting rushed. I just bought the game and we were playing some kind of online mode. And they're like, "Do whatever." So I just I hit X and randomized my character, and that's what I got. And everybody's
He
like,
is
"Oh my god, who the
ugly.
hell is? God, Moose, that guy's terrible."
Well,
It's like,
is
didn't
there
think it
not
was
plastic
that bad.
surgeons in the game?
There's got to be. I just, I don't spend any extra time on that game. I do
Well-
whatever my friends are doing, and then I shut her down.
I'll float you some cash, and we'll get your face fixed.
Yeah, hook me up with some shark cards, bruh.
Oh boy.
Awesome.
I've been filling up my car lot with all top tier high end vehicles, so I need to sell them at some point. So we can get you some cash that way if you can safely deliver a vehicle from point A to B without crashing it.
I guess we'll find out.
Guess so. All right. All right, let's go back to Chocolate. He's playing some The Gardens Between. I've seen this one. How are you liking it?
It's different. It's very strange. Again, very simplistic in the movement. You're only using your LT and RT, and that's it. There is no other sense of pressing any other button on the controller.
So just like moving left and right?
But so it's side view. It's a puzzle game, and you're manipulating time. So your right trigger is forward, your left trigger is rewind, essentially. Actually, no, there's another button. I think there's A as well. But that's it. It's you're kind of going up a mountain in a circular motion, going round and round, and at each point there's a certain puzzle that you have to complete so you can move on to the next stage, like a drawbridge will come down, or trying to think of something, it's not a drawbridge, cassette tape will come out of the old cassette players. Do you remember those big huge VCRs? So you'll press the eject button and the VCR will pop up, and that will give you a ledge to climb up.
Oh, okay.
Did
Up
did
the
they
mountain.
have VCRs ever when you were a kid?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, because
Not that
Chocolate,
good.
he doesn't know what the song Hotel California is.
Oh my god, that is so out of context.
Pardon, what?
Yeah.
He
He's
dropped
like,
a lyric.
Who are the Eagles?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
what,
didn't know
the
what
main
the
part?
lyric was from. No,
Yeah,
'cause it
exactly,
didn't say
the
anything
main
about
part.
the Hotel
Because
California.
we were talking about my mom. I just dropped her off at the airport, and I believe I pick up my mother-in-law tomorrow at the airport. So he's like, "Oh, the Hotel Moose," and I was like, "Yeah, you can check out anytime you like, but I can never leave." And he's just like, "I'm lost, dude. I don't get it." I thought it was a great line, Bear. What do you think?
I like it. I'm now playing the song in my head, trying to catch up where that lyric is. But
See, he doesn't even know where it is. I
It's
know
at the end of the song. They try to stab it with this. No. Yeah, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And then the guitar solo.
I think I just responded with, "That's old people music."
Yeah. And then I responded with an emoji with a guy with a gun in his mouth.
Oh, banter on point.
All right, back to the Gardens Between.
back to the Gardens Between. Yeah, you've completely put me off. This game is visually really good looking. You've got it's about two friends. I'm not even going to try and say their names because I'll murder them. And it's how they become friends, how one moves into the street, the boy meets the girl, introduces himself. The weird twist on this is there's no dialogue whatsoever. So there's not even the strange Nintendo wah, 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 wah. There's no text, there's nothing. All you do is see the story progress visually. In the background you have some nice kind of I don't want to say lullaby, very smooth music that's really relaxing.
Like Minecraft style.
A little bit better than Minecraft, but
Ambient
yeah,
music, right?
The music makes this game. The visuals make this game as well. The two are just so good. It just suits it. I want to like Ibiza chilled music is the thing I'm coming up with, but not as
Right.
heavy.
Elevator music.
Yeah, Elevate will be the one.
Or like the music you get when you're on hold.
Yes.
Isn't
Yes,
that Hotel California?
Yeah, but just like the instrumental or the jazz version of it.
Yeah. So it's really hard to explain. You need to see it. As you're going up this mountain to complete the level, it's all things that are part of their life as such. So, like, as I said, the VCR and the video cassette tape coming out, and that brings a ledge in the. Oh God, I am not words today at all. When they play the kind of after you do the level, they play a nice little transition of what's happened. You see that as she moved in, she had a video cassette player in her back room. It's the game's, I don't know, it completely mind blown me because of how it doesn't have any talk, any dialogue, no text, nothing. It is just all pure visual for you to take in the story, digest it, and come out with what you think has happened.
Yeah,
It's a strange game.
I would say it sounds like another one of those kind of, well, not turn off your brain because it's puzzly, and obviously you have to be thinking about what's happening, but more of like a ride than having to.
Yeah, very artsy fartsy as well. You know, that type of, those games like Disco Asylum, Elysium, that you're like, hang on a minute, this won all these awards. And
Indie games.
If you kind of scratch the surface, you're a bit like, I don't understand why.
Yeah, they're called
And
indie games, Bear.
Look
Again.
what Bear found.
Yeah, and I'm not playing this for Gamerscore, people. This wasn't suggested to me in a list that I asked Rorka for. But
And now I
yeah.
don't believe you.
But I am enjoying it. It is a nice story. It's really, I'm finding it very difficult to get the story just on the visuals and how you complete the puzzles as well. It's I don't know. It doesn't compute with me. I need to see the text. I need to see the talking. I need to see more to get engrossed and kind of pulled into the story.
Just need a
So
bigger
that's-
brain.
I might do, or maybe my brain is so big. This is no,
Below
okay.
you.
I
That's
was gonna
probably
say
not
that,
the
but I'm
case.
like, "Nah." With the way I've explained it, no, I've definitely got a little brain. But yeah, it's visually really nice, very kind of Viva Pinata looking, but polished.
Polished Viva Pinata story puzzle game. Where
Yeah.
you only use left and right trigger. Sold!
Nailed it.
Done. Yeah, and I apologise for everyone for ruining that game.
You said it's in Game Pass though, right?
In Game Pass, yeah. So it's free if you got it. I would check it out. It's straight just to see how different it is.
I think I remembered highlighting this from a Nintendo Direct about 6 or 8 months ago.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that this was one that stuck out to me, and then I just never got
Right.
around to playing it. I was
Yep,
like, yeah, that
same.
seems right up my alley. And then
Exactly.
I don't think I actually looked at it. So
I'll be interested if you guys try it for next week and just tell me your thoughts on it, because it's so
just different
I-
than everything you're playing.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I've been a Apex junkie for the last God knows how many months, but yeah, this
Since
is
it
just,
came out a year ago.
But for storytelling, it's something that I've never really played or digested. So this is brand new for me.
Cool. Well, if you would like to formulate your own opinions, people, you can check it out in Game Pass because it's there and it's free.
And then
So
tell
why not?
Chocolate how wrong he is about the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What game are you
Berate me
playing,
on
Bear?
Twitter. Yeah, idiot. What do you mean?
Grenade buttons on the left.
I just don't see grenades being a part of that game.
Right.
I haven't equipped them. That's why.
Typical. All right, Moose. Let's go back to you. Did you finally beat a gym in Pokemon? Is that what we're talking about this week?
Yeah, buddy. I got me
Yes.
a badge.
Got yourself a badge. One
me
of
the-
how many? Do
The
you have an
grass
idea?
badge. I think it's like 8.
Okay.
There's quite
cool.
a bit. There's quite a few badges.
Well on your
And-
way.
Yeah, I made it through my first cave or whatever those things are too.
You're just killing the game.
I am basically.
What gym guy was this? Was it like a leaf guy or a fire
Grass.
guy or
it
a
was
wind
the grass
guy?
man. It was the grass man.
The grass man.
Yes.
All
So I picked Garoki. Is that his name? Garuki.
Yeah, the monkey.
Yeah, and he's already evolved, which is crazy because I hadn't done anything yet.
Yeah, you mentioned that last time. That's
Yeah,
kind of weird, but
but so I
when you
just
mess
went.
around in the wild areas for so long.
I went Gigantamax and destroyed his grass Pokemon with my grass Pokemon.
Boom.
And it was pretty easy.
That's true. I guess if you're a higher level and you're both using the same type of like element, you're just gonna win out if you're higher level. So
Yeah, and his guys weren't doing anything to my guy. So
I think the grass guys are weak to fire. I think.
water or not water, air and fire, and one of the new ones like magic or fan or ghost, dark. You know, one of those that I
And
don't
that's
understand.
if I'm remembering correctly, doesn't it tell you what moves are like super effective and stuff? So you don't
See,
even really have to figure that out.
I think once you've fought them one time or once you've used a move on them, then it kind of like opens up the bag of tricks for you.
Okay.
But I think until you've done it once, it's all, trial and
Trial,
error or
right.
look at the Google in my case.
Gotcha.
Because I'm there for getting through the story and, just basically getting done with the game. Not,
Not
Right.
catching them all?
well, dude, I bought me like 50 Pokeballs the other day. So that's
you're ready
all
to
I'm
go.
spending money on.
Did you buy a Ultra Master Ball for the
For the
first
fire horse?
you bought?
Yeah, bro. I got that. I got one with his name all over it. No, I just bought all just, basic Pokeballs.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's fun. I just, I do try to catch everything. But I'm not like some people in our community that catch like 100 of the same one trying to catch just like the special shiny.
The shinies. That's
Yeah.
when you really know that there's nothing else in that game for you to be doing, I guess.
Yeah. And it's like the map is huge. So,
Right. So, like, do you turn to doing the shinies? I'd probably have to ask Ladonian or Blade. I feel like there are
Yeah.
big
Ladonian
Pokemon
does.
fans. Like, do you catch them all and then go back and try to get the shinies, or do you get stuck on that one? Like,
I think, yeah,
I
because
need
I
to
was
find this
trying to
one.
do it with Let's Go Eevee, and I caught like, I don't know, like 60 of the same Pokemon, and I was like, this is just not fun. I still haven't caught a dumb shiny Pokemon, and I don't want to do this anymore, and I think that's where I left that game.
yeah.
I don't
I mean,
even
I
think
don't
I
blame you.
finished
I
it.
feel like the objective to me has always just been through get through the gyms
Yeah.
and try
then-
to fill out the like if I see a Pokemon in the grass area that I've caught before, like I'm just gonna avoid it because I know
right,
I already
or
have one
run
in
away
the Pokedex.
when he
so-
does get near you.
I
I've
was
run
just
from
going to
lots
ask,
of Pokemon.
do you have to catch him in the same area to get the shiny of that exact one?
Oh,
You have
God.
to ask Ladonian about that one, Bear.
Yeah, I have no idea. We're not Pokemon masters. We're just
No.
enthusiasts.
We just we dabble.
Dabble in Pokemons.
Sometimes only for a couple hours on my $60 video game.
Hey, I'm making good use of your money though.
Hey, I can't ask for much more. My
I've
gift
had to-
from me to you.
Yeah, just in the last week, I've had to like reactivate your account probably 3 or 4 times. So that means I've been playing it a lot, right? Because that's like you get 3.5 hours. I think.
Yeah, you get a
before
good
have
amount of
to
time before you
reactivate.
it has to check that you're actually me, which you're not. But yeah, I mean you're getting my money's worth, so I appreciate that. And how? Do you remember when you were asking if you should just buy your own copy of it? What a waste that would
Yeah,
have been.
sword. It's so much cooler to have a sword than a shield, though. You made a huge mistake.
Yeah, well, this was the Pokemon that I was gonna get super into. So.
Well, they're dropping, dude. Like every time I look for news, there's always new Pokemon news and always new events and always new Gigantamax. So if you want to get into it, I think there's no better time to be a Pokemoner. Is that what they call themselves?
Pokemoners, I think so. I
Okay,
think
cool.
like for the people that do Pokemon like hardcore, it's kind of I feel like they just get fed content all the time, so it's good for
Well, they
those
have
people.
to, or they riot in the streets.
Just go crazy and start flipping cars over and stuff.
Yeah. They thought that that Pokemon Go thing was a good thing until people started showing up at their offices in hordes.
Oh, exactly. Cool. So, Pokemon, go get your Pokemon. Are you think you're gonna continue trekking along to
Yep.
second gym badge, man?
Yeah, this is my Switch game right now, and I'm
Sweet.
gonna play it till I beat all of them, and then I beat that annoying kid's brother.
Well, hey, at least his name's Leon.
Yeah, Leon. But what's
Oh,
his
nailed it.
stupid little brother's name? He's
Tony.
the worst.
I
He's like,
forget.
Leon too.
we're enemies, but I'm gonna give you all this cool stuff because we're friends. It's like, I was break you.
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. That's his tactic.
Every town I see him in, his scrub Pokemon can't even hang. So what is he even doing?
He's just following you around, trying to be cool. He just can't be as
Exactly.
cool as you. That's all.
Just trying to catch some of my shine. I get it.
All right. Are we good with Pokemon?
Yeah, for now.
For now? Okay, cool. Something new that I'd hopped into this past week that I feel like people have talked about before and even played some of, but World War Z. I tried that out in a 4-man squad, so I actually had complete co-ops. There was no computer players, and I think that's probably the best way to play this game. But if you're not familiar, this is Left 4 Dead in 2019, I think is when it came out. This is what it feels like to me. It's just a 4-player co-op.
Is it a shooter though?
It's what?
Is it a shooter or is it hack and slash?
Yeah, it's a shooter. So it's a third
Okay.
person, over the shoulder. Not kind of like a horde shooter. You're going from point A to point B, and you'll have some objectives in between, whether it's hold down and like fortify this area or
Kill the boss in X amount of seconds or minutes. Don't you have like a few daft things like that?
yeah, stuff like that. Or like, hey, the part that we went through this weekend was there was a train and like there's a door in front of the train that's like locked, so you have to go unlock that so you can continue your ride, that kind of thing. So there is like a underlying story that none of us were paying attention to, but it feels very Left 4 Dead, that with the whole here's your starting point, there's going to be a ton of zombies on the way, and then you need to get to the end. While you're doing that though, there's a lot of cool stuff. I think the one thing that this game has going for it that's just completely off the wall and it's so good is the actual zombies in this, how they are like the World War Z like hordes of zombies. Like you can see them pouring in. Like there was one where we were in a mall, I think, and they were like pouring through the windows, and then when they get close to you, they start to like stack up like they do in that movie where they're like climbing over each other. And
Did you see them go up the wall?
yeah,
As well, when you went across the you go across the level, don't you? And then you see them just climbing up and up and up.
yeah, and you can see them off in the distance doing stuff like that, but it's when they break through something and start charging towards you that like everything gets kind of serious. But one thing that happens when you are like defending points, you can put up turrets usually or like traps, so you kind of have a little bit of time before the wave actually starts, I guess. Where you can put up automated turrets and turrets that you have to sit on. And those do a pretty good job of mowing people down. But if you let them get close to you, they start to stack up. And then you have a slot for a heavy weapon like a grenade launcher or something like that. So you kind of hit the bottom of the towers that they're making. Like on top of each other, you hit the people at the bottom of the pyramid, and then
Right,
they all
to
start to
knock
fall
it.
down. And they move. It's pretty awesome. And it's not super easy either. We were playing on the default difficulty, and we failed at least one mission because everybody died. Because once you get swarmed in this game, you're kind of just like
You're
done
screwed,
for
aren't you?
because there's so many zombies.
It kind of sounds like a little bit like Save the World mode from Fortnite.
Yeah, kind of. I
You
guess
set
there's
up
not-
all your
there's not, like,
traps and then
building. Yeah, well, right. I guess you are setting down traps. So yeah, a little bit. Definitely, kind of get vibes from that.
it's like
They've done a great
mix
job on the
between
way they-
tower defense and shooter type.
Right. Yeah, and that's only like certain parts of the mission. A lot of times you're just trying to make your way from point A to B.
Right.
And, you can start off most of your missions going completely like silent too. So if you pick off like the stragglers and just kind of make your way crouching and using silencers or melee weapons, you can get through a good chunk of the level before. I want to say you can't get through a whole level without alerting zombies at some point. Like something dumb will happen, like a car alarm will go off or what have you. But you can get through a good chunk of it by just being quiet and going silent. And that'll cut down on your times like for levels a ton. Because the one we failed on, we tried going quiet the first time, and then somebody alerted something, and we were like, okay, that was taking too long, so let's just blast through it. And it was way harder the second time, like having thousands of these things just charging at you. And really, you're just looking for big guns that have lots of ammo. And that's another thing. There are like ammo crates laying around. So ammo's usually not a huge thing if you can kind of post up near an ammo box. But there was a couple times where it was like, my assault rifle's out of ammo. Like, I'm using pistol now. Hopefully everybody else has enough ammo to kind of knock them back or has grenades, that kind of thing. There's different classes where you're leveling them up depending on what you're doing. Like I was using I think it's actually called the gunslinger class or something like that, where maybe my reloads were going to be quicker or something like that. And then there's like a healer guy. There's a guy who spawns in with explosives, but each one of them has their own tree as well. So you're kind of like RPG wise, you're leveling people up. And then the guns in game you can also level up. So you don't pick a loadout ahead of time. Like you can't deck out an assault rifle and then bring it in. You can deck out an assault rifle, and then if you find it in the match, it'll be kitted like the way that you set it up, if that makes sense.
I was very I'm trying to think of the word. As you say, you're fixing up your weapon to hopefully find your exact loadout, aren't you?
Yeah, and if everybody, kind of what we ended up doing is like I had one type of assault rifle, like Shopa had a different one. So if anyone ever found one of those, it'd be like, hey, Risky, I got your gun. So I would run over to pick it up because I had it with a big sight and a suppressor, that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool how you can work on different weapons. There's a ton more RPG-ish stuff in this game, like a lot more than I thought there was going to be. And there's obviously difficulty levels, and they give you suggestions like once you hit level 10 you should probably bump it up to hard once you're at level 20, because as you're leveling up you're obviously getting more abilities, your stats are all just kind of going up and the guns are getting better, so everything's going to get a little easier if you don't bump up the difficulty. But they have all the sliders there that let you kind of tune it to how you want to play. So if you want to just god mode through the later levels and not change the difficulty, you totally can. But overall, it's a lot of fun, and it's a game that came out with like no hype. I feel like not really, at least.
I think it had the hype, but it dropped. I want to say it dropped in March. Was it last year before last? And I think
like the Division was out. Yeah,
I think it was like Division, something else. There were 2 or 3 big games, and it got knocked.
That would make a lot of sense then.
Yeah, big time. I think it dropped in price, and then I don't think it's been in Game Pass long. I want to say, I think 6 months, and if I say 6 months, I think that's too long, but I don't think it's been in there that long.
Yeah, it's definitely been at least a few months, because I remember seeing it a while back, and it's like, oh, I should probably try that out sometime when we're trying to like switch things up and just get a new taste in our mouth. So it definitely did that. I haven't played anything like that really since Left 4 Dead, and that was it feels like forever. So
forever ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They do such a good job with the way they as you were saying, stacking the zombies and the amount of zombies on screen. I think it even takes, if you remember Dead Rising used to have maybe 50,
Yep.
maybe at a push, but this seems like it has hundreds upon hundreds of zombies, especially that mall scenario you're talking about, the way they just climb up. And I think you have to kill them all as well, or you grenade them and they all disappear.
Yeah,
you get a bit of a respite.
I feel like that the mall one is super early on, and that was the first real like horde that kind of came over the walls and was just pouring in towards us. Like we were up on the second floor, and then they start to like come up escalators, and they're trying to crawl up like under you, and it's just it's
crazy.
It's pretty intense, and it's a ton of fun when you're playing. Like I wouldn't play this by myself. Like at one point we did have an NPC for a little bit, and they don't really stick by your side at all. So if they go down, it's kind of like, well, I guess we'll just get through the mission and then they'll respawn at the end of it or something. Cause
they're not great.
That's how it was with Vermintide too. If like you had to level up all the different characters to like level 7 or 8, or they would just go rogue and do whatever they want. I don't know if it was broken in the game or that's how they designed it, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I feel like you can always kind of tell when games want you to play with actual people. Like they just make the AI so dumb that it's like, yeah, this would just be better if this guy wasn't even here. The only nice thing was that the AI is super conscious of when somebody on your team goes down. So really they kind of just turned into like the medic bot is what it felt like. Like if they died, we're not going to go save them. But if one of us gets knocked and everybody else is obviously busy trying to hold down a point or something, medic bot will usually come screaming and stop doing whatever they're doing to pick you up, because that's definitely how they're programmed, is to pick people up if they're down first.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really good for what it is, I feel like, and I think Saber Interactive made it, maybe. But the game also looks really good too. It's not like, I feel like this is one of the like AA games, like somewhere in the middle, but with the shine of like a AAA game, kind of, if that makes sense. Like the final coat is AAA, but the underlying game, like I don't know how long you could play this. I don't think, unless you're super into it for some reason, I guess you could like level up every character and play all the missions on the hardest difficulties and that kind of thing, I guess. But
it's along the lines of that one game that we like to play, Chocolate. Oh, I'm not words again.
The Indiana Jones.
Yes, exactly.
What is the name of that game? Strange Brigade.
Yeah, Strange Brigade.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I think this is probably, they literally are like sitting on the same shelf together, with maybe some slight differences, but
one's zombies and one's ancient
mummies,
zombies,
which are kind of the same thing, right?
It's I think it's a bit like, as you say, Left 4 Dead as well. That kind of, I think once you did the kind of 5, I think Left 4 Dead had 5 different missions, and once you went through them and did them,
that's it.
There's not much more unless you are 100% Left 4 Dead fanatic.
Achievement
and
hunting.
It all gets a bit samey after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think this would have been like, if I didn't pick it up in Game Pass, I think if it had like a $30 price tag when it like first came out, I think that would have been a completely fair price. If you're paying $60 for this, you might be a little disappointed, but it's in Game Pass, so give it a shot if you need some, just like a co-op shooter that's definitely a laugh, definitely gets a little intense, and has some cool RPG mechanics for a shooter. Definitely worth checking out though.
Get some friends as well.
And having friends helps. Don't play this with 3 medic bots. You might never die, but it's just not going to
be any fun. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have anything that they want to touch on before we move on?
Chocolate, did you play any of the Deja Loot event yet?
I did. I was going to do a week without Apex talk.
Well, I know, but it's just a timed event, so it's only running till the 17th, and I haven't touched it yet. So
yeah, so there's another week to it. It's good. It's very strange to kind of know that if you land in, certain spot, each weapon or each bin you open, the weapons are stuck
be the same
to that. Yeah.
Right.
So the whole premise of Deja Loot is all your loot, shield, everything on the ground will definitely always be in X, Y, or Z. It'll always be fixed there for the whole event.
It changes every 24 hours.
The ring, how Oh no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
The loot sticks.
Okay.
The ring changes, so the path of the ring stays the same for the day.
Okay,
So
gotcha,
you will
gotcha.
always know which way the ring is closing in.
Mm-hmm.
So by the second, third game, you kind of know, right, the ring's always going there. This is the way I should rotate.
I see.
Which brings a very interesting dynamic to the game because, you know, if you're always dropping in where I drop, I think I drop either the geyser or the tree. I always predominantly rotate either left or right, depending which one I drop at. This one changes it all up because you're then going, well, I've seen 100 people go into Fragment East and West. Which way do I move now? Because I want to kind of avoid them. The skins in Deja Loot, I would say, are not great.
No.
They don't appease me. I think
The what is it? The Octane's butterfly knife or whatever. What do they call that?
yes, heirlooms.
His
So they've
heirlooms.
got-
That's pretty cool, I
you-
think.
That's cool, but I think it's from what I looked at it, it's locked behind the Apex bot things. You know the
No, you can
the
unlock
tickers.
that through the event pass.
You have to. Oh yeah, you have to complete the whole event pass. though.
Correct.
I'm looking at it and I don't.
And
'Cause
now
the last
they
two
just
items-
they just changed it to where you're not gonna just randomly get heirlooms. You get shards for heirlooms.
Yes,
so that you can
that
buy
changed.
heirlooms for whichever character you like
Yeah.
to play with.
So that's a new thing. So it is a bit like crafting your crafting material. You pick up those extra, however many. I don't know how it
Yeah.
works out and how much it costs, but yeah, you can pick that up and you could unlock. I think there's only 4, maybe 5 that are at the moment. So it's
Oh, each
lifelines,
character doesn't have an
drums.
heirloom.
Not all of them, not
Oh, wow.
yet.
Okay.
I think it's going through each event and season.
Okay, yeah, because I've seen the girl
you've got-
wraiths with
yeah.
the knife.
Knife.
The throwing
So you got
knife,
Wraith,
yeah.
you got Lifeline, you've got Octane.
Yep, drumsticks, the butterfly
And-
knife.
Yeah, I'm starting to draw blanks on
I
who
know.
else is there and what they've got.
I think they have one
watching
for
the-
Bloodhound, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it might be the Watch. No, that would be Daft. I don't know. But anyway, regardless, the mode's pretty fun. They've changed it up slightly from the previous. What was the previous mode called?
It was the party on the boat. I forget what they called it.
Mirage. It wasn't the Mirage Voyage.
was
The
it?
soiree,
Oh, it was the
Grand Soiree.
yeah Grand Soiree.
Grand Soiree. So the way you unlock your battle pass for the timed event has changed slightly.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Grand Soiree, you would have to complete all the daily challenges to kind of to complete the battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
Is the best way of describing it. I think now as well as doing the dailies, I think there's extra bits you can do to help you unlock to
To
complete
further
it. Say
progress
if you-
yourself.
yeah, so with Grand Soiree, if you missed a day, that's it. Tough. You aren't collecting or you're not completing that battle pass. Whereas now they're giving you the opportunity to gain some extra points XP from other avenues as opposed to sitting on it for 14 days or 30 days straight to try and unlock what you need to unlock.
Gotcha. Well,
Just
the bottom line is you got 7 days to finish whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah, well, also it's changing. So as of today, as of the day of the podcast, they are going back to Kings Canyon.
Right.
So for the next 7 days,
So
you are now at Kings Canyon doing, the very first map with all the new changes, bear in mind. So the map from the back end of Season 2.
Oh,
all
okay.
The flyers,
It's not the
etc.,
original.
etc. Not the original.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so sit there, enjoy, and then I think you go back to Meltdown for another week or so, and then I think that's when the map changes and you go back to Kings Canyon on the ranked mode. Oh, that was a lot of talking.
They should just let us
possibly-
choose what map we want to play.
So I think it's because they're worried of segregating their players. I think as they're doing these timed events, I think they're looking at the player base.
Yeah,
because
seeing
it
what
still
people are
takes-
participating in, and
it still takes a while sometimes to jump into a game. And when I say a while, I'm talking gamer a while, a minute tops, maybe a minute and a half, which going into a multiplayer game, you shouldn't have that. It should be, theoretically, ideal world, instantaneously. As soon as you've hit go, you should be joining in a game. That matchmaking process shouldn't take a minute, or you don't want it to take a minute. So yeah, go Apex.
Go Apex.
About what? A third of the way through season 4 right now?
I think so. I think we're approaching that halfway point.
Okay.
Very close.
I'm at, what, 35, 40 in my battle pass? Where are you at, Bear?
Oh, you have smoked me. I am maybe coming up to 28. I'm not unlocking the dailies and weeklies that give you that automatic battle pass jump.
That's all I focus on is those 3 or 4 each weekly that gives you an automatic level up.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm an idiot.
Well, Bear.
That was always the nice thing about Blackout when that was going on, is that if you just logged in and got 1 kill, you just get a free tier.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
in
Exactly.
the battle pass.
Yeah. That's there's weeklies every week that there's like 3 or 4 that they're usually a little bit harder to do. They'll take you a little longer, but you instantly get boosted a level.
Well, they normally have 4 elements to them, don't they?
Right, yeah.
So you normally have to do the easy part, then it will change to something else, etc., etc. And there's like 4 or 5 different elements to unlock that one battle pass.
Yeah, I'm still working on one from week 1 where I have to get 50 headshots with an LMG or something.
I've got something like that with a pistol or something daft.
Exactly. So, slowly but surely they'll fill themselves in.
Yeah. Definitely. But looking forward to what's going on in the news a little bit later.
All right, Bear, shut up about Apex.
I didn't say anything.
I'm kidding.
It's okay. That'll be me next week with some Destiny, so
Yeah,
it'll work itself out. Don't worry. All right. So before we get into the news, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is our current Game Pass game, and it comes out on Wednesday.
Weird.
Oddly enough. So if you're listening to this the day it comes out, it's still not out. It's
tomorrow.
The day after Wednesday. Tomorrow. Yes. Time travel. So
unless you've got Game Pass Ultimate, doesn't it come out a day early or 4 days early?
I have no
Was
idea.
it Ultimate?
I can look
I'm sure
right
Ultimate. I'm sure there was something about Game Pass Ultimate. You got it a little bit early.
I have no idea if that is a thing.
now. I should be able to download it from the app right now then, right?
I should be able to get it right now. So we're doing Ori and the Will of the Wisps this month, and the conversation on this will be ending on April 7th. That's going to be episode 98, so plenty of time to get this played, at least some of it. And then any feedback you guys have, you can drop it in Discord. Links for that are in the show notes. We have a Game Pass Roulette channel right there, and I think this is a good one. The first game was a lot of fun, so people should definitely hop into this, at least check it out. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into some news. All right, Moose, what's going on in the news this week?
There's quite a bit of news, but I kind of pinpointed the main stories, I think, because, I'm not going to bore you guys with all the tidbit nitty-gritty details. So let's start out with a new HBO series that'll be coming in the next couple of years. PlayStation has hooked up with HBO to bring us Last of Us, the TV series. So game director Neil Druckmann and the creator of Chernobyl, Craig Mazin, are currently working on a script right now, an adaptation from the game, and it should be good. The Naughty Dog president, Evan Wells, as well as a longtime executive producer for HBO, are working together to make sure this is a good product. So I'm excited. I've only played through probably the first couple hours of Last of Us, but it's been all the buzz since this news came out earlier this last week.
This seems like it's got like some big names behind it.
Yes.
At least producing it. So
yeah, it's I didn't write down her name, shame on me, But the lady that is the executive producer, she's worked on Chernobyl, she's worked on Game of Thrones, she's worked on, you name it, Who's Who on HBO. She was a part of it. So
speaking of Game of Thrones, I saw people floating the idea of Jaime Lannister, whatever his name is, playing Joel, and like the pictures they posted.
Sure.
I saw that.
I could definitely see it. And then the girl I know her from Last Man Standing. She's the youngest daughter, but she's definitely in some other stuff.
What's her name? Is her name Faith, or what is her name on Last Man Standing?
I think it is Faith. Yeah.
Yeah. The jock type girl.
Yeah, just the tomboy.
Yeah.
And I think that like seeing those pictures side by side, and then seeing like Joel and Ellie in another picture, they would both fit in perfectly for that. I've no idea if that's a thing, but
I think they developed that character around Ellen Page from that movie when she got pregnant in high school.
Juno.
Yes, Juno.
She literally is on record saying that they ripped off her likeness.
Yeah, it looks, almost a spitting image of her.
It was when she was working on that Beyond Two Souls game that she was actually in and actually mocapped and acted. And people were like, it's kind of crappy because I'm actually working on a video game and it's not The Last of Us.
Nobody knows about it.
But this looks just like me. So,
right.
Yeah, 100% you're right on that one.
So there's no dates as far as when this is coming out, but I think they're in the initial stages of planning. So I would say probably a year or two before we see anything. But it seemed like Witcher got here quick, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But then there's also things like the Uncharted movie with Tom Holland,
right.
I think is supposed to be. I feel like an Uncharted movie has been in the works for like 12 years.
Right. Yeah, since the first Uncharted game came out.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully this one's quick like The Witcher, for sure.
Chocolate, you into The Last of Us at all? Know anything about it?
No, I was going to ask, do I need to play the game?
Zombies. I think you could probably just watch all the cutscenes. Like, that's what Ladonian did with Spider-Man. And he said it was one of his best games of 2018.
Too funny.
Right. So I think I shall have a look and definitely try that out.
Yeah, I'm playing through it, and it is just raved about by anybody that's ever touched a PlayStation. So
yeah, I need to get a PlayStation. I need to get a second hand.
They should be getting cheap here soon, Bear.
Yeah, I might pick up the gen before, and then my wife will hate me.
It's fine. She'll get over it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Dude, I'm sure somebody will donate an OG PS4 to your cause.
I was going to say,
the new one comes out.
If it wasn't going to cost $1 million, I'd ship you mine.
It costs more for us to ship you one from here than it would for you to go buy one.
Don't I know?
Yep, you sure
Double
do.
the cost for a case.
Yeah, we know about that, don't we, Bear?
We learned our lesson there.
Ouch.
So that's about it for Last of Us, but I'm looking forward to hearing more news about this in the future. Up next, E3 has a few woes. Last week, the firm that they hired to be the creative director quit, and that's 3 months out of the day they opened the doors. So the company IM8-Bit tweeted on March 5th that they were resigning as the creative directors. This just adds on to other announcements that people have been saying. Jeff Keighley out, obviously, because of his reasons were the show that they had put before him was not up to par, so he's out. PlayStation's out. That wasn't much of a surprise, but I did find a tweet from Jason Schreier back in January that said that it was more to them with disagreements with ESA, which is the company that runs E3. So things are not looking good for E3, as well as all the coronavirus stuff going on, and they're just like, nothing to see here, business as usual. So I think they're just hanging on by the skin of their teeth at this point, and they think that if they've got to cancel this conference, it may be the death of E3 altogether.
But can you still buy tickets? Are all sold, aren't they?
I know people have travel arrangements and lodging and all that stuff booked, so there's already been money spent.
Not great.
No.
It's I
So,
think
and yeah, like last week they canceled South by Southwest. That's like one of the biggest music and art festivals in the United States.
yeah, I feel like this will be maybe kind of normal for people at home watching. Like it'll kind of feel similar to what you're used to with E3, but people who are there like on the show floor and stuff, it might just feel like a barren wasteland. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
but things. That's the other side of it is if you're not worried about getting coronavirus because it shouldn't affect you because you're not old or have some sort of pre-existing health conditions, then things are going to be cheap and things are going to be empty. So it's like plan your trip to Disney, plan all your stuff that you wanted to do because you might be able to get a steal of a deal here in a few months.
It's one way to look at it. Glass half full kind of guy.
I try to be at least. So yeah, just keep your eyes peeled and your ears posted to see what happens next week with E3 because it seems like they're in the headlines every week.
Best of luck.
Risky, you into Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation?
Yeah, I think it looks dope. Although
looks
if it's
so cool.
if it's as hard as Sekiro, I'm not sure.
I think it might not be as hard, but it's definitely the Silent Assassin samurai for sure. They released the release date of the game, which is going to be June 26th of this summer. So that's exciting. We got some new games to look forward to this year, and it's not a delay yet. So actually it was delayed. Wasn't it supposed to come out last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah.
So I think they're finally. I
it might
don't think
finally
you
be
delay
ready.
twice generally.
Yeah.
So
Unless you just go ahead and scrap it.
right.
So they also dropped a new trailer. It opened on what looked like a father training his son on the ways of the samurai, and then it all of a sudden fast forwards to 15 years later, and the guys look like they're outnumbered, kind of a 300 type situation, and then it kind of jumps around a little bit, but you become this super ninja that they just call the Ghost, and basically they say you're a vengeful spirit back from the grave to slaughter the Mongols. And
Love it.
I know. What else
Love
do you
it.
need, right?
Nothing, dude. It looks so good. That's the other thing is like, it's that weird because this is a PlayStation exclusive,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of those games where I feel like if you hold out for a PS5 and actually play it on that thing, it's just gonna be like
Yeah.
jaw dropping. Although I'm sure if you have a PS4 Pro, so
Right.
that'll still pump out at least.
It's not 4K though. It's just
doesn't it do
HDR.
upscaling or whatever it's called?
It's not. It's not real.
Yeah, but
Only
so
the Xbox does real 4K.
so that June date kind of sucks because it's like, do you want to wait
Right.
5 more months after that to actually get a PS5 and then play it when there's a bunch of other stuff? So
Exactly.
this is another game that'll make my OG PlayStation just that much closer to being in the ground.
Or
So,
it's also like we did with God, now I can't remember the Xbox game we're playing.
Sekiro?
Yeah, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Just wait 6 months.
Yeah,
And then you
pick
can get
it
it
up for
for-
$15.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm excited. It looks cool. I probably won't be able to wait because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of games coming out right now. So
Yeah, true. It's always nice when you can just like, what's coming out in June? Oh,
Yeah.
well, you have at least
Oh.
one thing coming out
Yeah.
in June so far.
here's a solid 30 hours that I can
Yeah, for
put
sure.
something into. So it's cool. I'm excited. It seems sooner. It'll be here before we know it. So games are coming out. It's March. Time to get good, right?
Yeah.
All right, Risky. It's that time. Let's talk about the Warzone.
Speaking of getting good, woo!
Might have to loosen up the drawstring on your pants a little bit there, buddy.
Yep. I saw this story was coming up next and acted accordingly.
So tomorrow, Central Standard Time, Central Daylight Time, whatever time it is right now, it will be dropping. This is the new Battle Royale from Call of Duty. It is going to be a standalone game, which is unique. We thought it was going to be attached to Modern Warfare, but from everything that I've read, it will go free to play shortly after it launches to everybody that owns Modern Warfare. So you'll get, 4 or 5 hours to play it before the servers are flooded and nothing works.
I was gonna say, like, usually when you say shortly after, it's like, oh, like a week or two. It's like, nah, we have it early for like 4 hours.
Right.
And then once all the free-to-play players hop in at 4, the servers are just going to die a painful death for the rest of the night. So,
But that's what EA said too. It is EA, right?
Activision.
Activision. I'm sorry. They did say that they are going to free to play as long as the servers will handle it. So, if they get a surge that crashes everything, they may just go back to everybody that owns it and then kind of trickle it in.
Until they can work it out. Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense. It's a good way to launch it, and it kind of gives the people that were there mainly, like people like me who only played Modern Warfare for the first like weekend.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, there's no Battle Royale. I'm not really into it. I'm one of those people that would have really benefited from just waiting since it's going free to play. But now I do have the bonus of if the servers go down, I'll be one of the people that gets to continue playing, I guess.
Sure.
Hopefully.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to start with 150 players on a map. And
That's unreal.
yeah, there's rumors that they're going to scale it to 200 shortly.
It's nuts. This map's huge. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm more thinking I can't kill 199 other people.
Everything
well, hopefully
I
a lot of
saw,
them are killing each other.
It's everything's going to be a frantic, hectic pace. All the looting is streamlined and slimmed down to where you can loot and go quickly. It looked like what I saw, there's no attachments to any of the guns, so you just pick it up and fire it. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this is it's tiered loot. So it's like Fortnite or
Right.
Battlefield, how they did
Yeah.
it. So if you pick up a gold
Level,
M4, because
yeah.
that's what the levels are. Like if you pick up a standard one, it's not gonna have any attachments. If you pick up like the next level up, it'll have 1 attachment. If you pick up the next level, 3, all the way up to like the gold that is a fully kitted 5 attachment or 4. So that's how they're doing it, which I don't know, because that main game, if like a Chocolate, I know you played a lot of it, the amount of customization for the weapons and like normal multiplayer, it's weird that they didn't bring that over to the Battle Royale where you could definitely be picking up attachments.
Yeah, from what I can remember as well, I think there was more than... So I think it locked you out at 5 attachments that you could change, but I think there was 6 or 7 different bits you could change. So you could only, out of the 7, you could only have 5 of those attachments that you could play with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
From what I haven't played COD for a while, so I can't quite remember, but what they're doing with this and making it more streamlined and easier to pick up loot is really good. I just hope that, say, the level 2 loot, it's not, you might find a better mag in one bin, but in the other bin you'll find a scope and a worse mag, and that's the level 2 kind of threshold. I hope they all scale. Does that make sense? So you have iron sights and no attachments, then you go up one and you have a better mag, and then the next one is a better mag and a scope. And
Yeah, I think that's exactly how it's working.
That's all right then.
And then they did streamline some other things as far as like the loot goes with like ammo pickups. That's automatic, so you just run over the ammo now instead of having to pick it up. And they went
Armor's
from like
a little bit different too.
Yeah, and as far as mags go, it'll be like assault rifle ammo is like just one generalized type of ammo versus like 5.56 or 7.62. It's just it's all AR ammo, or like with Apex, how you have the heavy
light,
and the
heavy.
light ammo.
Yep.
It's just it'll all just be AR ammo. So like you have submachine gun ammo, AR ammo, sniper ammo. So hopefully that is a little easier for people, and I do think the tier looting system is probably also great for people that are new to it. Like if you see a gold gun, it's probably going to be better than your blue gun or whatever. So
Yep, and
this is,
go ahead, Bear.
I was just going to say, this is massive, them going free to play.
Yeah, no doubt.
huge, dude. And like there was rumors about that happening, but I was in the camp of like, that doesn't make sense. Like, make people buy the $60 game if they want to play the Battle Royale.
We'll just have to
That's
see
what
what
I
their old friend Michael has to say about all this stuff once it's all said and done.
There will be pink unicorn guns and rainbow backpacks for $7 a piece. You can guarantee that's
You
coming.
betcha. So, and like Risky said, it's going to be a giant map, and everything is brand new. They are everything is created brand new. They're not recycling any assets. Everything was from the ground up. They said there's thousands of buildings on this map, and everything was created, handcrafted. They spent a lot of time on this. So it's a mix of some of your favorites from old Modern Warfare multiplayer maps as well as brand new areas. Some of the old ones that I saw was the air terminal. Everybody remembers that
terminal,
infamous mission.
No Russians.
You've got to make choices. Yeah. What other ones, Risky?
There was Rust.
Is Rust
Rust
actually
on
on the
there?
I
map?
saw that. I thought I saw Rust.
Okay.
I'm sure that's in the trailer.
Yeah, there's a bunch, and then there's even like more obscure ones like Burger. I think it's called Burger Town. Or there's this restaurant in one of the old games that during the horde mode like version, that was a place that you would camp out. It was like on the top of it, so it's like weird obscure things are also making it in.
Right.
And like you said earlier, they're not reusing assets, so they're just kind of reimagining and remaking these areas and places you've been before from the ground up, which I think is awesome on their part.
I can't wait to explore that map.
It's and that's another thing for how big the map is. These games still only last 20 to 25 minutes, like normal battle royales. So
that's what they said. It's gonna be a frantic pace.
Ripping.
Exactly.
Lots of vehicles though, so that's good.
This is one con, and it's probably just because I'm usually like the fourth best player in the squad. So it's going to be solos, duos, and trios to start with. So I need to find a squad.
It's the worst news I've out of everything I've seen. That's by far, like, that's the one thing that made me mad about Apex and how like it does. It's like, yeah, but it's trios. Like, in what world do I want to play with 3 people? Like, with this type of game. Like with Destiny, it kind of makes sense because you have a hunter, a warlock, and a titan. It's like there's 3 classes, so sure. With the battle royale, it's like a squad of 4. It just makes so much sense. So when they were like, yeah, we're just gonna start with 3s, and I was like, oh, why?
So a new feature that they're going to have is cash is going to be a new resource to manage and use. So you raid people's bodies and you basically loot them for all the cash in them, cash that they have on them, and then you can use the cash to buy kill streaks as well as revives. So, or not revives, but respawns. So if somebody gets killed, you can go deposit a bunch of money and they will instantly respawn on the map. So, what game is it? It was that Cliffy
Radical
B.
Heights?
Yes. Cliffy
Yes.
B is where you had to collect money to unlock, upgrade things in the game, and it was a battle royale. So I believe that's where they got inspiration of that from. And then the other way to revive or come back into the game is the Gulag. So I don't know if you guys saw any of this, but it's a 1v1 prison style. One person wins and goes back into the game. The other person goes home in shame.
Oh, see, I thought you were going somewhere else when you said prison. But
Oh, Bear, it's not always. That's just you always that goes to there.
Sorry, it's late over here. Apologies, folks.
And so the Gulag's pretty cool. It's a completely new spin on battle royale, and that's you always want to have something keeping it fresh.
The footage that they showed from the Gulag is actually pretty sweet. So like, if there's 3 people and 2 of your squad mates die, you're both going to be in the Gulag at the same time. So one person can be like up above the arena, like looking down on you, and literally like, he's in front of you to your left or something, and you can kind of work together.
Exactly.
And then if you win, you spawn. It's just, I know it's going to be weird when somebody dies and then they have a completely like separate game going on. That you're going to hear those emotions
just
running
freaking
into
out on comms.
Yeah, dude. Like the first time Dan Pod gets wrecked by something he thinks is unfair in this 1v1, and I just have to hear this screaming.
Yeah, right.
I can't wait.
So, and of course, there's going to be vehicles. So, basically, they've already said that helicopter is going to be the meta, and there's tons of new vehicles, big tank trucks and quads and cars, and so there's going to be tons of different ways to get around the maps.
Yeah, and you're gonna need them because that circle's gonna be moving quick, and it does a ton of damage. So if you don't make it, like in most games nowadays, if you're out of the circle, you've got like 20, 30 seconds, sometimes like a minute if it's an early circle. You're not going to be able to like That's the other thing, is that health regen it just happens on its own, like in
so
multiplayer.
you don't have to find
so you don't take like
bandages.
med packs to heal your health. The only thing you work with that way is your armor, so you can pick up
Right.
like armor plating. But yeah, your health actually regens slowly over time, like in multiplayer, which is different.
That makes sense.
Right.
Well, it makes sense for Call of Duty.
Right.
They're sticking to the core of their multiplayer game, aren't they?
Yeah. They're doing a lot of weird, interesting stuff, and I hope, like, especially with like the money systems, because you can buy like air.
I wanted to talk
So-
about real quick is like people are already worried about what they're calling kill streak spamming, which is when people get a bunch of money and they buy all these missile strikes or airstrikes or nukes or whatever it is, and they wait just till the final circle and they just unleash hell on everybody else and game over.
Yeah, that'll be the best players, is the people that buy UAVs and airstrikes,
Right,
wait
yeah.
until the last circle. Like, you obviously have to make it to the final circle to use them, but I wouldn't
And
be
they're not going
surprised
to be
if every
cheap either.
game-
So you're going to have
Right,
to have a ton of
right.
cash.
So that'll be interesting. I did hear some of the YouTubers I was listening to today were talking about how those should, like, the last 3 circles of the game, they should just kind of get like cut off, so you can't use
Right,
kill streaks in the last few circles, because like the last couple circles in these games are super tight. So if you just launch an airstrike on half of the last circle, like, you're probably going to take somebody out. It's kind of broken. I don't know.
Do you think that's going to happen though, with the fact there's 150 players, and do you think you're going to be getting people at the last circle? Because I've got a feeling there is no chance that's happening.
Or
Like,
maybe
people are
they'll
gonna die out
come up with
before it.
something to counter it,
I-
kind of like Apex has
Yeah.
done with like Gibraltar's dome. There's a few things that can counter the airstrikes and the raids.
But I don't think people are going to get to the last circle anyway, just because of the amount of players, the size of the map.
Right.
Carnage. Yeah.
I
We'll
can't
see, dude.
it.
I will be. Maybe we can get Dan Pot on next week. He'll probably be a good person to put on the
Yeah,
show.
right.
We'll definitely go more in depth next week once we've kind of had some time to dabble in it. But
Yeah.
I am so pumped. So pumped.
But you're going to mention there's 2 modes to that, isn't there? There's the Battle Royale mode, and then there's Plunder.
Yeah, I don't.
Have you
I
guys?
didn't see a whole lot about the plunder mode yet. I just saw it mentioned in an article.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems like a kind of not a raid. What was that game where you could bank rob?
Oh, what is it? Not heist. What is it?
Payday.
Payday.
Yeah, it could be Payday. There's another one though as well. There was I think it was early on the 360 days.
So
But yeah, you go steal money, and I wonder if that ties into buying skins, battle royale. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Surmising.
The one
We'll
thing
know
I do
more
know
next
is
week,
that
right?
the whole plunder. The plunder is the name of the game mode.
Yeah.
People are still under embargo until tomorrow to release videos on that. So I don't think there's a ton of info on it
Yeah.
right now, but it seems like the whole game mode is way more about collecting cash, and then one of the things that you can buy from the little like huts or markets in game is a balloon that takes your cash in game like up and puts it to your base or whatever. So if you die, you're going to lose all your money, but there is something you can actually utilize while in a match to send to your like bank, I guess, or
Right.
something. So
Kind of like in the Titanfall game mode where you had to go and deposit all your money so that it was
Deposit the
good.
money.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. By the time this is out, you will be able to go on the internet and search out plunder and figure out what it is. But I'm more than excited for
It's
just
like
the battle
Christmas
royale
Eve,
part.
right?
So, oh, dude, you have no idea. I need to go to work tomorrow.
So, all right. Well, before Risky, gets himself into a fit of joy and gets sick, let's move on. All right. So, xCloud had a new update over the weekend. Basically, Android versions of the preview will now feature games with trailers to scroll through at the top of the app, kind of like the Game Pass app works now. If you hover over one long enough, it'll start a game trailer. And if any of the featured games catches your eye, you can instantly jump in as it will be loading in the background. So featured games will be changed out periodically, and it's basically just a featured area for the games they want you to check out. So just a little thing.
Seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in it right now, and the 5 are Moonlighter, Recore, Felix the Reaper, State of Decay 2, and Sea of Thieves. So
I wonder if those change per person, like if it's an algorithm that
true.
takes data off of what you play and suggests games, or if it's just all across the board. This is what we're featuring on Game Pass.
That seems like a lot of work back end,
Right.
though, because if that game's loading on your machine as you're looking at that trailer,
There's an easy way to find
for them
out.
to
I'll
change.
just open my
Well,
app.
There you go.
Right?
I do think that it's a cool idea, just especially like all these games that suggested to me I've played before, so that doesn't
Right.
really help. But
Yeah.
if it threw up some games that maybe I hadn't touched or ever started up, just to kind of throw a trailer my way to be like, hey, maybe nudge me in this direction if I'm not sure what I want to play.
Right.
It's yeah, why not? It's a nice little feature, and I still use xCloud every other day ish. So I love it so much. I can't say enough good things about xCloud. If you're on good enough internet, it's great for certain types of games, obviously.
not the game I've got.
Yeah. It looks like I need an update because I don't have that one yet.
Yeah, it's there though. So go update your app, friends.
And Risky is going to help me out with our last story this week. I guess Reggie and his wife need some time apart, right?
What a terrible way to phrase this.
That's usually what happens when guys retire. Their wife's like, go away.
Get out of my house.
Go do something.
Yeah, so Reggie Fils-Aimé, he was the former president of Nintendo, like I'm sure everybody already knows.
Like 2 years ago, right?
If that,
Yeah, within 2 years.
I feel like he just finished up in like April of last year or something. Yeah, he announced his retirement in February 2019 and then it was officially out in April. So hasn't been gone that long. Not even a year yet.
Not even a year. Made it through the winter.
Yeah, so he is going to be on GameStop's corporate board. So he is going to hopefully try to dig GameStop out of the massive hole that they're in.
Either that or he's just knowing that they are failing and it's a sinking ship and he sees money floating to the top.
Yeah, and that's the other funny thing is that 4 people, I think, just resigned from the board, and now Reggie is there. So I don't know if that had something to do with it, with him coming on. They might have had to shed some people, depending on how much Reggie cost.
Yeah, he's like, give me 10 million and I'll come to the meeting.
Right.
I'll come save you.
And Reggie really hasn't been doing anything since he left Nintendo. He's doing, I mean, I don't want to say he hasn't been doing anything. He doesn't have like a big gaming job. And
No, he's just tweeting
industry.
about what games he's playing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's also going to like colleges and stuff and doing speeches.
Right.
He
Getting
spends
paid.
a lot of time at Cornell, it looks like, giving speeches for them for their communications department, I guess.
Is he an alumni or do they just pay the best?
Probably just, I
Both.
don't know. I won't take a guess there.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, GameStop's stock was trading as high as $56 during this current generation. It is currently at $3.70.
Yikes.
So that's not great. And this article was written today at 1:30. We also had our first. They shut down the stock market in the U.S. For a little bit today, and this was the first time since 2001 that's happened because
Wow.
of this whole coronavirus
Because
thing.
of-
Yeah.
Oh, I thought because of Reggie.
No,
They just
would've been
we all
huge.
just stopped dead in our tracks.
Reggie's here. Shut it
Reggie's
down.
back at work.
GameStop stock is about to skyrocket.
Yeah, right.
I mean, honestly, I'll be interested to see what they're trading at like end of day or even opening tomorrow, because I guarantee you it's going to be higher than $3.70. Well,
Gotta be.
that's I don't know
All-
if I'm
all
willing to
you-
guarantee.
I was gonna say, all you day traders
Bad.
out there, there's our hot tip for the week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to the story really, besides him just joining the corporate board. So that's what Reggie's
yeah.
doing right now.
Do you think it was they called Reggie or Reggie called them saying, guys, hey, I need somewhere to go during the days?
Yeah, I need something that I can do from home. I can just call in on all these conference calls.
I need to tell my wife I'm going to work. I'll go to the bar. Just, give me something with my name on it.
It feels like something that I feel like GameStop would be doing, and I feel like they probably offered him too much money.
It's a Hail Mary at this point.
Right, like one last thing to try to patch up this sinking ship, I guess.
They're looking at Blizzard,
Right.
They're throwing money at their problems.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. Good luck, Reggie. Good luck, GameStop. I obviously don't want to see him go. So
yeah, I like trading in my consoles every so often.
Yeah, especially when they give me sweet discounts on the new consoles I'm trying to buy. So
that's what they are good for. They need to stay in their lane.
I just need them to be around until the end of the year. Like to see what my trade-in value for my 1X.
It could be next year. At this point with coronavirus, nobody's going to work for the next 6 to 8 months.
Right, dude. Nothing is certain this year with any type of industry, it seems, unless you're into like the sanitation, like hand sanitizer business.
Costco is out of toilet paper.
Dude, people go nuts over
I know it.
Yes, all sorts of stuff. If you're a prepper out there, you'll get it right one of these days when the world actually
right? And then you just be standing up there alive by yourself. Told you so.
Yeah, exactly. We thought you were crazy for decades, but turns out
you're the only person alive because
you
were prepared. Or you weren't prepared for that loneliness? I don't think so. So but that's the news this week, boys.
All right, Chocolate, what's coming out this week? Anything?
Well, we've got a few games. So, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is out, as we've mentioned, and that's also in Game Pass, so that drops...
Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. We also have Blessed Unleashed, and that's out on the 12th for Xbox.
Bless Unleashed, yeah.
Yes.
It's a weird game, kind of like Diablo.
Yeah, I was going to try it out, but I'm definitely not.
Yeah, I watched about 45 seconds of somebody streaming it, and I was like, nope, not for me.
Yeah, for you baseball fans, The Show is out on the 13th for the PS4.
One more
baseball
year.
Game on the market.
One more year, Risky.
Yeah, until we can finally get on Xbox, right?
Exactly.
I don't know why I put this one in. Dead or School is out on the 13th.
Is that for the school shooter in you, Bear?
I've got no idea. I wrote down too much stuff.
A weird one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I did have the name of this picked at the beginning of the show. I think it's Noir.
Neo.
Neo, thank you.
You were so close.
So Neo.
It's a PlayStation
Neo
exclusive.
2.
The first one I hear is awesome. I need to pick it up still.
Yeah, so this Neo 2 is the prelude to Neo 1.
It's like a Super Ninja type game, right?
Yeah, something like that. And that's out on the 13th for the PS4.
And then, Risky, you played Langrisser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are both out this week too. Langrisser 1 and 2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was playing the mobile game actually.
Right.
So
yeah.
Being able to see where some of the characters came from in that mobile game, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, give you some character development.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Game Pass. NBA 2K20 is out now.
Come get some.
Play.
Yeah, come get some. Who wants some?
I'm gonna dunk
I'm
over the
surprised
moose.
that's in there.
My 90 character.
Ugh, great.
If you like choo-choo trains, Train Sim World 2020 is out now. I'm not going to say Ori is in Game Pass because obviously I've already said that. State of Decay 2, the Juggernaut Edition, that is out as well. And that was the 13th? Yeah, 13th. So that brings another update to State of Decay 2. And a quick note on games leaving Game Pass. We've got Deus Ex Mankind Divided leaving. I was going to say Shamu. Shemu 1 and 2, that's leaving
Didn't
Game
those
Pass.
I feel like those just came into Game Pass, didn't they?
Yeah, I have a feeling that it wasn't that long ago. I can't check back, but yeah. Thumbleweed Park and, oh God, Lich Spear Double Spear Edition. That's leaving
I think it's Light Spear.
I looked at it and I knew I was going to mess it up, so I didn't care.
Like the German.
The German. And also, last week we didn't mention about PS Plus because I think it dropped the day after the podcast came out. So there is Shadow of Colossus and Sonic Forces are your free PS Plus games.
Shadow of Colossus is a good game.
Yeah, I beat that like 2 years ago, I think.
When the remaster.
It was when it first came out. It's so
Yeah.
good.
What about PC, Bear?
Yeah, you've seen what I put about PC. So there we go.
Just seeing if I can get you to say it.
I'm not gonna.
How rude.
Yes.
Anyways, I think we can plug this thing up now then. Huh?
We did it.
Another
Yes.
show in the bag. 6 more to go, folks, until we blow the whole thing up.
Well, I think coronavirus is going to win before that happens.
Great. So if we're not around for episode 100, you know what happened.
No,
Anyways.
we'll just be on 14-day quarantines. But lucky for all our listeners, we are all in quarantine anyway. So
Exactly. The show will go on. All right. Head on over to Apple Podcasts, rate us, give us 5 sweet stars worth of review stars because we deserve all the stars. So thank
Wow.
you. That was pretty good, right? Don't wow me. We have a Discord as well. That's where we hang out and talk all day, shoot the stuff about whatever's going on, sports, games, Game Pass roulette stuff, TV, all that fun stuff. Links for the Discord are in the show notes. If you'd like to support the show and be a little more like Timothy Fielding, our winner this month, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast and support us there. Get yourself entered into the drawing, the monthly drawing. And then also, as we talked about at the top of the show, you can now subscribe on twitch.tv/crossatlanticgaming. Throw us a sub there. You'll get yourself entered. And if you're on Patreon and Twitch, you get a third entry. So look at that. Lots of ways to get yourself into April's drawing.
Twitch Prime costs you no dollars.
Free money.
True that. And you guys have a whole entire month to do it. So there's that. And then another way you could support the show is through Spreadshirt. That's our merch store. We've got hoodies, snapbacks, bags, t-shirts, long shirts, all the fun shirts and different apparels with Cross Atlantic Gaming stuff on them. So head over there. That's another way you could support the show. On the socials, on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, we are at CAG Podcast. And lastly, if you need to reach out via email for anything, cagpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Chocolate, how about you?
Chocolate about 18.
And a Moose.
Moosenstein 8314.
Everywhere.
Most places.
And thank you, dear listener, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
See ya.
Later, y'all. So, what kind of spells do leprechaun witches cast?
I don't know.
No, go on.
Lucky Charms.
Ah, son of a...
Yep. All
Moose.
month there. All
Yeah.
month.
Well, you'll like this one then, Moose. What type of bow can't a leprechaun tie?
What?
A rainbow.
Got 'em.
Bow.
I don't.
Why do people wear shamrocks on St. Patrick's Day?
I don't know.
No, go on.
Because real rocks are too heavy. Get it? Shamrocks.
Yeah, sure. I like it. Why can't a nose be 12 inches long?
Something about Pinocchio.
Because
I
then
think
it
it
would
has-
be a foot.
Oh yeah, there it goes. I gotta close the show with my last joke. So Bear, get your last ones out.
No, go on.
Okay. Why do leprechauns hate running?
Because it hurts my whole body.
No,
Nope.
I know this one.
All right, tell me, Bear.
No, I don't. Go on.
All right, because they'd rather jig than jog.
No. God damn
That
it.
they would.
How do you get the dog to stop humping your leg?
Oh, God. Quick, stop.